Well, I have a little secret to tell you. I was not the most brilliant student in high school. This fact is undoubtedly showed by my having to take biology 3 times before I would pass it. Frankly, I think that the teacher felt sorry for me and gave me a passing grade just to make sure that I wouldn't be back again. It wasn't that I did poorly in all parts of biology. It was just, on the contrary, I did good in most parts, or I did well in most parts. But when it came to evolution, I simply rebelled. I wasn't a Christian at the time, but something just didn't sit right in my soul, and I was too dumb just to answer the questions the way they wanted them answered. Well, if you're joining us in going through this 6-month reading plan through the book of Psalms, today's reading is Psalm 139, verses 11 through 24, and I encourage you to read that section. Well, Psalm 139, verses 13 through 16 says this: "For you formed me in my inward parts. You wove me in my mother's womb. I will give thanks to you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret and skillfully wrought in the depths of the earth. Your eyes have seen my unformed substance, and in your book were all written the days that were ordained for me, when as yet there was not one of them." Well, David held the position that God created each child. He begins that thought process in the first 10 verses of the psalm, but then he drives it home in the last section. There is no way that you can get around the fact that he describes the child in the mother's womb in verses 13 through 16. So, because words have meaning, we must hold that David understood God's creative activity beginning from the moment that the sperm and the egg connected. If that creative action is accurate, and I believe it is, then any life is precious from the moment of conception and throughout eternity. As God specially creates each one of us, we must be cautious to walk in the way that God would have us to walk. It is God who gives us our personality. It is God who gives us our bodies. It is God who gives us our parents and our siblings. And as such, we must praise him for this work. Now, I recognize that some are born into challenging situations, but I also realize that God has a plan, and that plan is sometimes too difficult for me to understand. If we are to maintain our sanity, we must rely on God's knowledge and mercy. I cannot control any actions that the world puts in front of me. I can only control how I respond to those actions and events. The response is where our responsibility lies in our walk with Christ. God knows who we are. God knows our needs and our skills, and it's only through our participation in the divine nature through Christ, 2 Peter 1, verses 3 and 4, that we can grow into a mature picture of Christ and be the witnesses to the world that God desires us to be. And if you would like a PDF copy of this entire reading plan, please send an email to phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.